Hey, welcome back. It's Jason Walter here. And in today's video, which is April 15th, I'm going to give you an update about the economic impact payments or the stimulus checks that the IRS is sending out. And so they just updated this morning their web application in order to check the status of your payment, as well as to be able to add your direct deposit information for those who apply. So let me just share my computer screen with you and show you how this works. Okay, so here's my computer screen, and I'm on irs.gov/coronavirus. I'll leave a link in the description below for this website. So here we all know the non-filers, if you're not required to file your tax returns, you would go onto this section here. That was added a few days ago. But if you want to check the status of your payment, as well as confirm your payment type, whether it's direct deposit or if you're receiving a check, you can go onto this web application here. Also, they say to enter your bank account information for direct deposit, and if they don't already have your direct deposit on file, you can enter your bank account information by clicking on this button here. However, it says below here, if we do not have your direct deposit information from your 2018 or 2019 tax return, this is the IRS tax return, and we have not received your payment, then you can use this application here. But it then goes on to say that if you filed your 2019 tax returns, then we will send your payment using the information you provided on your 2019 tax return. It says you will not be able to change it. This is contradictory to the first paragraph above here because it says that you can change your 2019 tax return information or your bank account information if they have not sent your payment yet. So my interpretation of this, and I believe they're probably going to be changing their website here today or tomorrow, to mitigate this confusion is that if you filed your 2019 tax returns already and you opted to receive a paper check and the IRS has not sent your paper check out yet, then you can go onto this website to the Get My Payment web app and update your bank account information there. However, if you filed your 2019 tax returns and you opted to receive a direct deposit, so you have your bank account information through the IRS, you are not going to be able to change your bank account information online. And I've read this in other articles on the IRS website that they're not allowing people to change their bank account information online in order to mitigate the risk of fraud. So you don't want people going onto the IRS website, adding their own bank account information and routing your payment to their bank account and not yours. So that's my interpretation of this. I'm not a tax accountant, so don't sue me. I'm just a guy on YouTube trying to help you guys out. But that's my interpretation of it. I think that by the time maybe you view this video, they may have updated their website. So let's talk about for 2018 filers. So if you filed your 2018 taxes, but not your 2019 taxes, it says, if you need to change your account information or mailing address, file your 2019 taxes electronically as soon as possible. And this is the only way to let us know of your new information. Again, I believe this contradicts the first paragraph here again, but they're basically saying that if you are if you filed your 2018 taxes and you have opted to receive a paper check, but your mailing address has changed for whatever reason, maybe you moved, then you can go on to and file your 2019 taxes in order to give the IRS your most updated information. If you want to be safe and you have not filed your 2019 taxes yet, you might want to go ahead and do that in order to and add your bank account information so the IRS has all the information available to you so they can send your information or send your checks as quickly as possible. Because if you want to wait for your paper checks to be received, you're going to have to wait up to 5 months in order to get your paper check. They're sending those paper checks out in the reverse order of your income. So lower income individuals are going to be receiving their paper checks first. And if you're a higher income individual, you're going to be receiving your paper checks last. So it's best is to get your direct deposit information on the IRS website. So let's go ahead and click on Get My Payment. It takes you to this website right here. It says here that if you have a filing requirement, meaning you are required to file your IRS tax returns, and you have not filed a tax return for 2018 or 19, you must file a 2019 tax return in order to receive payment. So if you have not filed 2018 or 19 and you're required to do that, you need to get on this as soon as possible and file your 19 taxes as soon as possible. Of course, if you're not required to file an 18 or 19 tax return, you want to visit that non-filers web portal that's on the IRS website. So let's just click on here and say get my payment. It takes you to this page here saying it's for government use only, and you have to accept in order to move forward. And oh, that's interesting. So when I clicked on this morning, it would take 5-10 minutes for this page to load up. So they're doing this quickly now. Maybe there's not as much traffic right now, but you may encounter a lag period when you click on that button. If you do that, just wait patiently. It'll eventually will pop up. So eventually, if you want to get your payment here, you just enter your social security number, your date of birth, your street address, and your postal code, and you enter here, and it'll tell you the status of your payment. So that's that. And it is true, there's some news right now going on this morning that Donald Trump wanted to add his name to the stimulus checks, and this may create a delay for those who are going to be receiving a paper check. So it says the Treasury Department has ordered President Trump's name printed on the stimulus checks of the Internal Revenue Service and is rushing to send these to tens of millions of Americans. And this process could slow their delivery by a few days. Like, are you kidding me? So ridiculous. People need this money as soon as possible. So it's disheartening to read this. And it goes on to say that this will be the first time a president's name appears on an IRS disbursement. First time ever. So this is a little disheartening to hear. I hope that this is not going to cause delay for those people who are going to be receiving a paper check, but it's further incentive for you if you qualify to enter your direct deposit information, your bank account information online through their web-based portal so you can get your check this week instead of potentially up to 5 months from now. And it also says that Treasury officials disputed that the checks will be delayed. So who knows? If you're unsure whether or not you qualify for the stimulus check, then let me take you to the IRS website and it'll tell you who is eligible. It says you're eligible for individuals to receive up to $1,200 if you're single or $2,400 if you're married filing jointly, as long as you have an AGI, which is adjusted gross income. And if you're not familiar with what that is, or you don't know what your AGI is, that is line 8B of your Form 1040. That's 8B of Form 1040. That's your IRS tax return. Just go to your most recent tax return that you filed and see what your AGI is there. So this payment of $1,200 or $2,400 is if you make less than $75,000 for individuals or $150,000 if you're married filing jointly. It says that taxpayers will receive a reduced payment if your AGI is between $75,000 to $99,000 if you're single, and $150,000 to $198,000 if you're married filing jointly. It goes on to say who is not eligible. It says taxpayers likely won't qualify for this payment if any of the following apply. If you have an adjusted gross income of more than $99,000 if you're single, or more than $198,000 if you're married filing jointly, you will not receive a payment. Also, if you are claimed as a dependent on someone else's return, you are not going to be receiving this payment as well. You also have to have a social security number in order to receive the stimulus check. And also, if you are a non-resident alien, you will also not receive any funds. And if you're still confused about whether or not you have to take any action on the IRS website, they have a section here as well. So people who have filed a tax return for 2018 or 2019, you do not need to take any further action. It says no additional action is needed for taxpayers who have filed their tax return for 2019. The IRS will use this information to calculate the payment amount. Also, if you haven't filed yet for 2019, but have filed for 2018 tax return, then you don't need to do anything either. It says for these taxpayers, the IRS will use information from the 2018 tax filings to make the calculations for the checks. So hope that's beneficial to you. And also, if you're not required to file a tax return because if you're in a lower income threshold, or if you're simply not required to file tax returns at all, if you receive Social Security benefits, there's a separate section on the IRS website, which is I do not need to file my tax return. So I hope that's useful for you. I hope you got a lot of value in this video. If you did, please hit the like button and please subscribe too, because I post new videos about how this stimulus check process is working and giving you updates about that, as well as how this pandemic is affecting our real estate market. So if you're interested in that, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. So I hope you have an awesome day and look forward to seeing you on the next video. you.